tea time with Gollum. Yeah.
Okay, so why did you do what I tried to do the other week and it didn't work? Because I couldn't figure out where I was going, so I just stood there for like a good 30 seconds going T.
Is that why that came to me so easily? Because you've already done it?
Yes, but except for I never got anywhere with it, and you were like, what is happening right now? And I was just going
I kind of turned it into like the Mission Impossible theme for a second there. I'm making a short film about spies right now, so I kind of got that on the mind.
That was beautiful. All right, well, welcome to
Didn't you
Tea
also
Time
try to
with
do
Gollum.
like a...
What?
Sorry, I cut you off.
Shush.
My bad.
Welcome to Tea Time with Gollum. I'm your host, Reagan Holland, and I'm here with...
Sarah McBurney, the other host.
Yeah, she's also my co-host.
You didn't mention it, so I thought I would.
I just introduced you like you were a guest star, as if they didn't know who you were.
Yeah, special guest. Never been here before.
Special guest, never
Thanks
been
for
here
having me
before.
on the show, Reagan.
Oh,
Such
of
an
course,
honor.
anytime.
So, in today's lovely episode, in which we will talk about something, the something we're going to talk about is our theater stories.
Yes. So, as some of you may know from if you listened to our intro video, and if you haven't, then you should go back, because everything we're going to say
Well,
probably
that
makes
one's
zero
really
sense.
bad. Maybe don't listen to
Actually,
the
don't
intro.
listen to that one. We pretend that one didn't happen, actually.
Yeah, that one's a little rough. It was. We'd never done a podcast before.
They're still kind of rough. We're still getting there. But
Yeah, we're getting there. The singing intro thing is a work in progress.
it's never going to progress.
Yeah, you're right. It's just a work.
It's just a work. But yes, so today we are discussing theater memories, theater fails, just wild things we've experienced
Because
in
if you
the
couldn't
theater
tell
world.
from the fact that we're doing a podcast like this, we're both theater kids.
Yeah, if that wasn't
obvious.
If that wasn't obvious, you haven't met any theater kids.
If the last episode where we spent half of it singing VeggieTales songs, we're theater
It
kids.
didn't clue you in that we were Christian theater kids, then
Nothing will.
yeah, nothing will. You're doomed.
Yeah.
There's nothing that can help you now.
Yeah.
And
But you can still listen to this episode.
oh yeah, please do. Don't leave.
Yeah. Don't leave.
run away.
Stay with us.
Stay, don't go. Come back. Wait, please, Jack, come back. Wait. Come back. Wait, Jack, wait. I've never even seen Titanic.
You gave her a British accent.
I know, because I have a friend that used to do that in a British accent for some reason. She thought it was funny.
I've only seen Titanic once, and it was kind of recently. And let me tell you, that movie is terrifying. I almost couldn't handle it.
Yeah, I don't think
I thought
would
it was
want
just
to
going to
watch
be
it.
sad.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was going to show, like, every possible way that somebody could brutally have died on the Titanic for, like, 3 hours. Like, that's not what I was prepared for, and that's what I got.
Yeah.
And it was so scary.
Yeah, no thank you.
Yeah.
No thank you.
Anyway, let's talk about theater stuff.
Yes, okay, so would you like to kick us off with anything?
Ooh, I'm trying to think. I don't have a ton of... Wait, can we talk about Private Secretary?
Oh, yes, we can.
Oh, wait, that's a story about you. I don't know why that was the first thing I thought
Well,
of.
we can tell it.
Okay,
You tell it
do you want
better,
me
though.
to-
You tell
Okay,
it
I'll
about
tell
me,
it.
actually.
Okay. So this was a couple years ago. Reagan and I were in a production of Annie Jr.
Oh, yeah.
And I was Miss Hannigan, and she was Grace.
Which, that's
and-
actually a funny story, which I will tell
Actually,
that
yes.
story. But you tell
Jump
the
in
story
right
first.
now and tell... No, wait. Tell the mini story.
The mini story about
that.
how that happened?
Yes, you do
Okay,
that.
so we both auditioned, right? And I wanted to be Miss Hannigan. And Sarah wanted to be Grace Farrell. And we went into our audition with this in our head. And then at the audition... Oh, sorry, no, we both had our audition, then we both got a callback. At the callbacks, they sent me immediately upstairs with all the... Okay, so it's like, mind you, there was like maybe 5 to 8 teenagers that auditioned.
Yeah,
and then the
it was
rest of them were
mostly,
like young middle
little
school.
kids and like tweens, yeah.
Yeah. And all of the little girls all got sent upstairs to sing with the music director, to sing Hard Knock Life, right?
Yeah.
And then they kept all of the older teens downstairs except me. And they sent me upstairs with all the little girls. And so I was like, I'm cooked. There's no way I'm even getting in. But which was confusing because we hadn't done anything yet. Like, nothing had happened yet. They just, like, saw me and were like, nope. They're like, why did we call her back? So they sent me upstairs with all the little girls. And I sang Hard Knock Life in a key way too high for me. And I was like, this is not appropriate. So, and then I came back downstairs because I was waiting for somebody. I don't remember what it was, but I think
you were waiting for my group because then we were singing.
Oh, maybe. No, because I wasn't
DJ
singing with you.
Were you? Oh.
I wasn't supposed to sing with you. You guys sang without me.
Yeah, we sang without you, but so then wouldn't you have been downstairs at that point?
I don't remember. But anyway, I came back to the older kid group for some odd reason. I was just sitting on the side waiting for somebody to be done because I was getting a ride with them or something. And then they ran out of Grace Farrell's to read with Mr. Warbucks's.
Yeah.
And so they were like, Martha Grace, who's the director, was like, Reagan, can you get up and read for her really quick? And I was like, this is my one shot. This is my one shot. So I gave it my absolute all. And I was doing it. And I was like, actually, this is kind of fun. Like, I kind of like Grace Farrell. And then Sarah had to read something for Hannigan.
Yeah.
And she was like, actually, this is kind of fun. So then we, like, switched it in our brains. And then we ended up getting Grace Farrell and Hannigan. And apparently the only reason I got that role was because I acted really well in that one thing that they were, like, totally going to cut me. And then... Because I talked to the stage manager after. Because I talked to Riley. Riley was the stage manager.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah, that was so fun. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my gosh.
And I was like, hey, like, were you guys going to cut me? Because why did that happen? And he was like, oh, yeah, you were going to get cut. And then you happened to read for that thing. And then Martha Grace loved your acting, was like, that's Grace Farrell. And then you got it. So.
Oh, my gosh.
Huzzah.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I think I just got lucky in the singing audition. I think I just got lucky in the singing audition, and they were like, oh, you have a lower range. You can sing Hannigan. Oh, yeah, anyway, so back to the main story. That's the backstory of this show. And there's a scene where the two of us have a scene together. Miss Hannigan's, like, in her office, listening to the radio, maybe? I don't remember. There were a lot of scenes where I was just sitting in my office, and then other people would, like, come in and, like, bother me. And Grace comes in and is basically telling Miss Hannigan that Mr. Warbucks wants to adopt Annie. And so she comes in, and I'm like...
it's where...
Is it not that scene?
It's the scene where she comes in originally. When she's like...
Oh, where you were looking for an orphan in the first place.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, for Christmas.
Yeah, you're right. He wants to have a child for Christmas. Sorry.
Mr. Warbucks prefers children. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Martha Grace, our director, just in the middle of rehearsal one time was like, Mr. Warbucks prefers children.
Instead of red-haired children, which was the actual line.
It was just children.
We're never going to get through this.
No, we're not.
So anyway, Grace comes in and goes like, Miss Hannigan, and I'm like, no, what do you want? And she's like I'm Grace Farrell, private secretary to Mr. Warbucks. And, like, holds out her hand for me to shake, and I'm like, you know. But this was during one of the dress rehearsals. Was this when when that one guy didn't come on to do the radio thing? Was this the same event?
The one guy didn't come on to do the radio.
So I was supposed to be sitting at my desk listening to the radio, and we had somebody off stage doing, like, a little, you know, radio announcer voice or whatever. And he just didn't show up. And so I was just sitting there with no radio.
I yelled it.
Yes, yeah. And so then Reagan just yells the line from off stage because she's about to enter anyway. But I guess, did it just kind of, like, make you sort of flustered, like, in the moment?
Me so bad.
Because, so then I'm sitting there. Reagan walks in and, like, Miss Hannigan? And I'm like, yeah. And she just holds out her hand for me to shake and goes... I'm laughing too hard. She just holds out her hand and goes, private secretary. And nothing else. And I was like, huh? It was so funny. Thank goodness it was a dress rehearsal.
Oh my goodness. I'm so glad it was a dress rehearsal. It was so funny, though.
Oh my gosh.
It was so funny.
And now I say that to you all the time now.
So also,
you know what else?
During that show, I made it a point because there was a certain line where I had at the end of the show, I had to, like, name all of, like, the alibis that, or, like, aliases.
Francis Rooster Hannigan uses. Like, all his, like, crime names or whatever.
All of Rooster's, like, crime names or whatever. And it was, what is it? It's...
So, like, also known as Daniel Francis Hannigan, also known as
Danny
something.
Yeah, and then,
also known
as Danny the Dip. Is one of his things. And I would say it weirder and weirder every show because That line killed Sarah.
It would make me laugh. I was on stage. She would make me break on stage during every single performance.
Because it was so funny. I was like, Danny the dip.
Like she would say it like that. And I was supposed to be sitting there like angry because I'm like in the process of getting arrested for like trying to kidnap a child, which valid. But like then I would start laughing and I had to like turn my face away like every time.
Danny the dip.
There was also a moment during that same scene where I would make eye contact with the kid playing Teddy Roosevelt. Or no, not Teddy Roosevelt. FDR, the other Roosevelt.
FDR, it was Ryan.
Yeah. He's just this little kid sitting in like a wheelchair with like fake gray hair pretending to be FDR. And I don't even remember what was happening in the scene, but I would just like stare at him and like try to make him laugh every time.
That's so funny. Oh my goodness.
You know what else happened in that show is my shawl would fall off every time in that one scene with...
Yes.
It came off every time. Was it with you? No, it was with the police officer.
It was with the police officer.
Bringing Annie back from trying to escape. And me and the girl playing Annie would start laughing every time because my shawl would like fall off and I have to like grab it off the floor. Because the shawl was literally like one of those fancy lace things you like put on the back of a piano.
Yeah, it was like a piano cover.
It was a piano cover, but it was a shawl. So...
You know what popped into my head the other day was just Brady being Mr. Bundles. And I started crying laughing. How's the prettiest gal south of 14th Street?
I forgot about... Oh my gosh. That was a good show, though. Like, that was a really good production.
Get out of here with that laundry.
Get out of here with that I forgot, like, all of my lines. I don't remember any of that.
I don't either. That was such a funny show. It was so much fun, though.
Oh my gosh. It was so good, yeah.
I feel like this is a good segue into another show that we were in together. Namely,
yes.
The Hobbit.
The Hobbit. The Hobbits, the Hobbits, the Hobbits,
the Hobbits, the Isengard, the Isengard. So, what story was I going to tell? Oh, okay, we have so many for this one, so we can just tag team this one. I'll go first.
Did we tell the callback story already?
Yeah, we told the callback story already.
Okay, so we'll pass on that one.
We'll pass on the callback story. If you didn't catch that, you're going to have to go back and listen to the slightly bad first episode.
Yeah. You can get through it. It's worth it.
It's worth
Maybe.
it. Possibly.
Maybe.
It's informative.
Depends what your priorities are. Yeah. It's enlightening.
It's enlightening. Your life will be changed.
Anyway.
But there was one time. So I played Gollum, but I was also an elf. And
oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I was an elf in the second act because I was in the first act I was Gollum, but then I didn't come back ever because it's only like it's like a 10-minute scene and then I'm done. Like nothing ever happens again.
Only there once. Yeah.
So I came back as like a woodland elf. I was like woodland elf number 2 or something like that, you know.
Yeah.
In the final like scene where we did not have a battle of the five armies. We just had the dwarves and
just
the elf
gets along with the power of friendship, basically.
Hug it out, and then we just call it a day because we couldn't have a big, massive battle on stage. It was a whole thing. But
yeah,
there's this one scene where I'm supposed to I locked up the dwarves.
The dwarves.
And like backstage, I had made a joke. Because, okay, I'm supposed to say, like, what on earth was that? Or something like that at one point. And I made a joke backstage, and I was like, what Middle Earth was that? And then I forgot that I'd made the joke, and then on stage, I said, what in Middle Earth? In front of an audience, and everyone started laughing, and I was like, welp. And then later, our director was like, Susan came up to me and was like, you can keep it. And I was like, epic. So I did. It was really
oh my
funny.
Gosh.
That's my first story. You get one.
In the first episode, did I talk about when the lights stayed on opening night?
No, the one with where we had the battle scene skipped.
So the battle... No, not that. Oh my gosh, so many things went wrong in this show.
You tell me about the light one then.
On opening night, after the battle with the goblins, battle in air quotes, but after the dwarves and the goblins kind of have a battle in the mountain, Bilbo falls and hits his head. I mean, everyone just kind of runs off stage, and there's supposed to be a blackout. And then the lights come up, and they're all spooky, and I'm supposed to be in Gollum's cave, and I wake up, and I have this whole stupid monologue about eyes watching me, and it was so hard to memorize. But on opening night, the light cue, I don't know, the light cue got skipped or something, and there just wasn't a blackout. And so everybody runs off stage, and I take my cloak off as if I've lost it in the fight. Mostly just because I was actually way too hot on stage because I had 10 layers on. So I would just conveniently lose the cloak. But the lights were still on. And I was like, I have to go back out on stage and there's supposed to be a new scene. And so I just like walked out in like full light and just like laid down center stage, like pretending to have passed out. And then like I think then they shifted to like the next light cue and it got spookier. And then I like pretended to wake up, but it was just so dumb because there's no one on stage and I just walk out and like just kind of like slowly lower myself to the ground.
Well, then
like wake up.
Then there was like a night or two later so what was supposed to happen was that right before that scene, Sarah had an offstage monologue as Bilbo.
Yeah.
On the stage right got mic.
Yes.
And then that monologue cued a mini scene of the Goblin King and the goblins on stage prior to the goblin dwarf battle that then led into the Gollum scene.
Yes.
Except for one night, the god mic on stage right didn't work, so Sarah said her whole monologue, and not one of us heard it on stage. I was also a goblin before I was Gollum.
Oh, yeah, you were.
I forgot about that.
And, yeah.
So then we had, as was Gandalf.
That's what I was going to bring up. That was why I hesitated for a second. I was like, Xander, this is the guy who played Gandalf,
and
was just also a goblin.
He's in his Gandalf costume, and he's just standing there with his back turned to the
audience. With his back
roar.
turned to the audience, like jumping around like a goblin in the background. Because this cast, there were literally like 19 people in the cast. Like, It was tiny. We didn't have enough people for this.
No, we didn't. We needed to have
everybody.
More.
If you weren't a dwarf or me, you were like triple cast.
Correct.
As like every other character.
But the god mic didn't turn on. So we were standing there during your monologue. Nothing happened. And then the lights come up and you still hadn't gone. And so we were like, should we just wait? We waited. And we waited like a couple seconds, but a couple seconds feel like an eternity on stage.
Yeah.
And I'm watching Harper, who played the Goblin King, right?
Yeah.
I'm watching her eyes and she is seconds from, like, not even seconds. She's like half a beat from starting to just go with the scene because we couldn't hear the monologue. Yeah. And right before she goes, one of the dwarves in the wings panics and is like, they're not going. And he just takes it upon himself to start the battle scene with zero context. So he just yells, fight! And then all the dwarves just rush on stage. He did like,
goblins coming! Or something, or like, goblins ahead, yeah.
And then all of them just rush on stage and we're all like, what?
And just
and
start
we have
the
our
fight
whole battle
scene.
with zero context.
Yeah.
It was so funny. Oh my goodness.
Also, the fight scene was very funny.
Oh,
because it wasn't a fight scene. It was just a series of tableaux. And the lights would go down, and then someone would yell, fight! And the lights would come back up, and everybody would be in a different, like, fighting stance.
Fight.
Yes. And everyone would be in a different fighting stance, and then the lights would go back down, and we'd all, like, shuffle around and get to our second position. They'd go, fight! And the lights would come back up, and we'd be in a different pose. And we did that, like, 5 times.
So weird. Oh,
there were some very interesting things about that show.
Okay, yes. There was one time. So I had a rubber fish.
Oh, yes, this.
Named Gilbert, appropriately.
Yeah.
And, like, that I, like, kind of, like, you know, shook around and, like, you know, like, I don't know, was all jittery with during my Gollum scene. There was 2 different Gilbert fails. The first was that I accidentally... Okay, so the first time was I got really into my scene, and I threw it behind me, and I hit the psych, which is like the biggest no-no in the theater world, in the entire theater world. The biggest no-no is do not touch the psych. I hit the psych with my fish, which in retrospect created a very cool effect because it looked like I threw it into a puddle of water. Because I hit it and then it rippled out.
And it makes like a ripple, yeah.
Yeah, so it looked cool, but I hit the psych with my rubber fish. And then the stage manager like came after me after the rehearsal, and I was like, or after the show, it was a show, and I was like, I'm so sorry, I'll never do it again. So the next show, I actively tried to not throw it at the psych, so I threw it in front of me instead of behind me, except for I threw it past where the curtain was. I threw it onto the apron, and I didn't realize. And then I left, but then the crew that was cleaning up after my scene forgot to get the fish off the apron because they didn't see it. But the next scene happened on the apron with
the curtains closed.
The curtains closed, and the next scene
happened on the apron. And then we all went out and did a
scene
scene on the apron.
And so all the dwarves and Sarah troop out in the middle of the forest. And there's just a fish laying in the middle of the forest.
It was so funny. Yeah, we're all talking about how we've like made it past the misty mountains and we're like looking at like the trees and there's just a fish on the ground.
It was perfection.
Oh man, I guess we have to close The Hobbit off with the best story.
Yes.
Should I tell it?
Yeah, you go.
Okay. So this This was my equivalent of private secretary, basically. Not really, but
it was beautiful.
In spirit. So this was, I think, during the last show.
Mm-hmm.
I think this was closing night. And the dumb monologue before the Gollum scene where I wake up and I'm talking about eyes watching me and stuff. I wander all around the stage. And in the end, I stumble into like a rock and I'm like, oh, look, there's a ring here. I'll just put it in my pocket. And then Gollum shows up and, you know, everything continues. Except closing night. So usually I would put it into like my coat pocket, which had these little like flaps. You know, pockets will have like a little flap over it to kind of keep it like covered. But usually the flaps of the pockets were tucked into the pocket so that I could just stick the ring straight into the pocket. But that night, the flap had gotten untucked. And so, like, when I was just kind of, like, sticking my hand down my jacket trying to find the pocket, I, like, couldn't feel it. And I stood there for a second trying to get it into the pocket, and I couldn't. And what I should have done was just stick it into my pants pocket and keep going. But what I did instead was I commented on it. And I drew all of the attention. So I'm just sitting there. I'm like, I'll just put it in my pocket. I kind of struggle for a second. And then I just go, where is my pocket? I'll just use this one instead and put it in my pants pocket. And immediately afterwards, I was like, why did I say anything? I could have just done that.
In your pocket. Yeah. R.I.T. Do we have any
additional stories?
I mean, we haven't talked about Beauty and the Beast.
Did anything happen in Beauty and the Beast? I had a cold for like the entire
You had
run.
the spoon?
The spoon was the only one I could think of off the top of my head.
And I had the tea cart.
Okay, those are two good ones.
You want to tell about the spoon?
Oh yeah, so during Be Our Guest, we were all just dancing I played Madame de la Grande Bouche.
Madame de la Grande Bouche.
De la Grande Bouche. And, so we're all just dancing in Be Our Guest, and, like, the ensemble is all different, you know, knives and forks and spoons and other things, maybe? I don't remember.
Napkins.
Napkins, perchance. Plates? We didn't have any plates,
We had some plates.
Did we have some plates? Okay,
yeah.
Cool. Anyway, it was, like, near kind of the climax of the song, and we're doing, like, not a kick line, but everybody's, like, kicking and doing this big, like, move, and suddenly I just feel this, like, and, like, my glasses fly off my face. I have been slapped in the face with some kid's, like, giant prop spoon next to me. And now I'm, like, trying to dance, but I don't have my glasses.
And
I'm trying to find them on the
without her
floor.
glasses.
I have such bad eyesight. I can't see my glasses. I can't see anything. I've been slapped in the face with a spoon. And I'm like, someone's gonna step on my glasses. We're literally dancing, and they're like on the floor.
And like all the girls are in character shoes
them.
and stuff. This is during a show.
Yeah, this was during a show. And I saw them on the floor and like somehow managed to like during one of the moves just sort of like sweep down and like scoop up the glasses and put them back on my face. And I don't think anybody noticed because I wasn't in the front or anything. And I don't think the kid realized that he had smacked me with the spoon. Like, this entirely was just me struggling by myself for, like, 5 seconds.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. You gotta tell about the tea cart, though.
Yes. Okay, so it was opening night, and I'm supposed to run in and be like, I'm supposed to, like, run in and be like, you know, does anybody want a spot of tea kind of thing, you know?
She was Mrs. Potts, for context.
I was Mrs. Potts, yeah. I'm supposed to, like, run in with this tea cart, right? Except for on opening night, I went a little bit faster than I normally did because I was excited. And then when I stopped the tea cart, I don't know whose bright idea it was to not glue down anything on that tea cart, because when I stopped, inertia kept going. And every single plate, saucer, cupcake, donut, everything went flying off that cart. And they're all plastic, so they're all bouncing around on stage, just like rolling all over the place. And then that was my peak improv moment. Because the guy who was playing Maurice, like, jumped up and he was like, oh, let me help. And I was like, oh, no, you sit down. And I was like, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm just so clumsy. I haven't done this in a while. Like, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I was so proud of myself. But I had to, like, run around and catch all of these bouncing plastic teacups all over the stage before we could even continue. And I was dying. I was like, this is awful. It was so funny.
Oh, my gosh. Wait, if we have time for one more.
Yes.
Perchance. You were not in this show. This was before you started doing Encore. But I was in a production of Robin Hood.
Yeah, I knew this is where this was going.
Yes. This is my other, like, top theater fail story. This wasn't me, even, but it was just everybody on stage collectively freaking out. So it's during, like, the kind of famous scene in, like, Robin Hood where they're, like, at the fair and there's the archery contest and Robin Hood, like, splits the other guy's arrow in half with his arrow. And so we actually shot, like, real bows and arrows, obviously very safely. Like, everybody was on one side of the stage. They were shooting, you know, straight into, like, a big, you know, blank wall off stage. And so they'd shoot it off stage and then somebody would come out with a big target with arrows, like, pre-stuck in it to be like, oh, like, here's how they did. And then, you know, the final one with, like, the arrow, you know, broken in half and the other one.
Yeah.
Except during one of the shows, during, like, the final arrow, Robin Hood, like, shot his arrow, but instead of, like, sticking into the wall off stage, it, like, bounced back on stage. Except then the person just comes out with a target with supposedly also Robin Hood's arrow, having split the other arrow in half. And so we're all just standing there, like, in shock. We're like, what do we do? There's two of Robin Hood's arrow right now. And somebody just kind of went, it bounced back. And everybody's just going, wow, incredible. How did he do it? The arrow bounced back. It was so stupid.
That's so funny.
But we didn't know what else to do because the whole like jig was up on how we were doing the trick. Not like people hadn't like figured it out, but like it was.
That's so funny.
It was very awkward, especially for it being the final arrow, like the most dramatic part of that scene. And there's just
funny.
2 arrows on stage.
Oh no, that's hilarious. Did I tell you about the time I was in Santa Claus the Musical and I tore my skirt off?
I think so, but I don't remember the details.
So I was in this show called Santa Claus the Musical. It was a world premiere, I'm pretty sure. Or no, maybe it wasn't. I don't remember. It was like either like the first or second time this show had ever been performed. It was a musical.
Yeah.
All about like the like Santa Claus's like heir or whatever, the heir to the Santa Claus throne. Kind of bad. Of course, you know, the thing. And I was in the elf ensemble, right? And there was this one scene where I had to do, like, this, like, kind of, this, like, roll, like, half roll on stage. Kind of like a flare, like, kind of like a fan kick, but without the...
Yeah.
Like a fan kick, but without the legs. Like, I just did the roll kind of thing,
okay,
you know?
Yeah.
And I was wearing a skirt. And I rolled over and I put my hand on my skirt. And I didn't realize I had, and I stood up. And I ripped the most massive hole in my skirt. Like, a huge hole in my skirt. And I was wearing tights underneath, but the tights also had holes in them underneath my skirt. So that was wonderful. So I'm just standing there in just my tights, and we're, like, mid-dancing. And so I grab my skirt, and I, like, shove it up inside my belt. And then, I kid you not, there's a dude who was in the other cast, because it was a double cast of this show. He's in the front row of the theater, like, watching the show, but he's in the other cast. So I was like, come on, bud. Like, you should have had my back. But no. He actively, out loud, goes, hey, look, she ripped her skirt. And the entire audience looks at me. And I was like, bruh.
That's crazy.
I was not happy.
That is evil.
It was very tragic. And I liked the skirt too, but they just threw it away and they gave me a new one.
Oh
I was so sad.
When I was in The Swiss Family Robinson, I had a moment where my character was supposed to get like thrown overboard off of like a lifeboat. Mm-hmm. And then I just sort of, the lights all went blue and I just sort of like fake floundered around on my knees center stage, like pretending to kind of swim a little bit. It was interesting, but it's kind of hard to do anything relating to water on stage.
Yeah.
But there was one show where when they threw me out of the lifeboat, it somehow like broke one of the buttons off of my vest, and it went like, and it was like a metal button too, so it went like ting, 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 like across the stage. And I was like, shoot, what was that? And I was like, oh my gosh, it was one of my buttons. And so, like, as I'm, like, floundering my arms around, at some point I just sort of, like, sweep down. I did the same move as how I got my glasses back. Like, I just sort of, like, swept my arm across and, like, scooped up the button. Yes. Subtly, not very subtly, trying to subtly pick things up off of the ground on stage. And my parents were in the audience, and they, like, saw it, and they thought that it was, like, my glasses somehow. My dad thought that I, like, broken my glasses, I guess because he just, like, heard the metallic sound and, like, couldn't think of anything else. And I was like, no, it was one of my buttons.
Did you hear about the time when I was in Enchanted Bookshop Christmas and I threw my, the typewriter?
Yes.
Because there was
my gosh.
There was this scene where I'm supposed to come downstairs and it's, like, a surprise gift for my sister or whatever. And I'm supposed to give this typewriter to her in a box. Like, it's like we didn't actually have a typewriter. It was just a typewriter in a box. So we didn't actually have a typewriter in the box. I just pretended like the box was really heavy. So I had just had this like whole scene where I'm like making this big deal, like walking down the stairs with like this super heavy box, and I'm like, oh, it's so heavy, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
like heave it onto the table, and then I cover it in a blanket. And then like 5 minutes later, my sister comes on stage, and I'm supposed to be like, ta-da, and rip off the blanket and show her. Except for when I ripped off the blanket, it got caught on the corner of the box, and it just threw the box.
Oh my god.
So it was like after I'd like heaved it downstairs and like made this illusion that there's actually a typewriter in there, I just threw the box with the blanket. It was so embarrassing.
Oh my gosh.
That was before I'd
so
actually
funny.
learned how to improv. And I just started busting up laughing. It was really funny.
Oh man.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I think we should probably wrap up this episode.
Wrap up this episode. This has been fun.
This has been very fun. Thank you for tuning in.
Yes. It's your turn to
It is
sing a
my
little
turn.
outro jingle, so.
Ba-dum-ba-bum, ba-dum.